of dawn. Welcome. Our second game here begins right now in this best of 3 series. It's CG ESPORT facing off against AERO ESPORT, and only one of them can continue to get points and move on. Now, gold, it's going to be CC heading over there instead of the Terizla, understandably so, but this mid lane is going to be the cornerstone of every motion we see from this game.
One good thing about having the Terizla into the Benedetta is that the Benedetta doesn't hurt as much and you also clear waves relatively fast. But the downside is that the Benedetta moves a lot faster, so AERO needing to keep up is going to be a tough task. This was sort of what we expected. You know, Kusei can stand in front of Trap and at least help AERO get priority somewhere, but ZKIM is going to get knocked out by the Jin Kundo, able to barely get away.
Yeah, Hazel comes to respond and Balance doesn't want to trade his life away. It's just not worth the time. Fortunately for Hazel, he did not get the Lethal Wanderer. Retribution not up in time. In terms of emblems, we're seeing 2 concussive blasts coming out from the side of CG. Chiku making sure that he's going to have enough damage. Same goes for Ye 3 as well. I'm guessing that they're going to target Kim. He's the main damage dealer, but I do get a little worried, right? If they don't get Kim alongside with Hazel and they end up losing Trap, I don't think they can handle Kusei and Smooth by themselves.
I agree. I do wonder if they would look at Hazel and Kim and ask for maybe a rotation down bot, right?
Oh,
you don't have to necessarily take out Trap, but if you can force him into an uncomfortable spot, I think that's good enough. Because Kusei doesn't have to recall, but the one thing he lacks is that wave clear. So Trap can easily go for these safe recalls, come back to lane, and not really lose anything.
Yeah, speaking of lane states, right? Both Golden as well as EXP, not exactly the most favorable lane states for CG, to be perfectly honest, right? Smooth, he's got a good freeze underneath his own tower. They finally broke the freeze, finally, but he hits level 4 right on time to join this upcoming fight. Down on bot side, Kusei, he's already on the move.
Yeah, Expanding River is going to bring them in. Very early feather airstrike, so Valence eats that up. Smooth was able to find Chiku, who goes into the Swan Song. Kusei tries to follow, but the damage from the Swan Song is pretty nasty. Still though, First Blood goes over to AERO. They're trying to navigate this the best they can, and all of them somehow get out.
What was that? What happened there? Kim opens up with a feathered airstrike, and then everybody else gets distracted by the Swan Song flicker coming in from both Balance and Chiku. And now they find another one catching Smooth off.
If they can get Balance, that would be a good trade by Balance. Smooth with the movements. AERO, they lose one, but they get Turtle.
Surprising deaths indeed. I would have imagined that Ye 3 should have been able to get out of there, but the early game seems to be heavily in AERO's favor. Both Terizla as well as CC a lot more sustainable in the earlier stages of the game, but Smooth doesn't mind dying, right? And he held out for so long with 0 stacks of Festival of Blood, so it's not like he had Spell Vamp to begin with.
In the early game, you can afford to power through the Swan Song, but when the game starts going late, when Winter Crown comes out for the Odette, then AERO will need a different approach. The Trap was able to get some decent economy, right? He cleared the bottom lane, he goes mid, he eats up the wave, and he takes a bit of the plating away. So overall, I think for AERO ESPORT, not too shabby of a start. Obviously, you would hope to get slightly more out of that, but the fact that they cut their losses was good enough.
And now, I want to see how ZK is going to be playing this game, right? Because again, the early stages before level 4 is probably going to be the most brutal part. Now in team fights, he's very relevant when he's able to start pulling people out of position, especially if we're thinking of like high priority targets.
That's why CG turns their attention to the bottom lane. Good retribution from Gary. Get rooted down. They want to turn on to Gary. Feather airstrike is out. Gary in a very rough spot. Good stuff from Kim. That's the second kill for the Farsa.
And that's exactly what you want to do with that glue, right? You're pulling the more immobile members, especially when very close. They're almost connecting with the turtle boat, but they've zoned out Trap entirely, right? The gold lead for Kusei by himself, not only from the laning phase, but because he's getting help from the rest of his team, he is skyrocketing. 2 assists as well. Trap has 0 kill participation.
And that's what we wanted to see, right? AERO finally making that rotation and pushing Trap out of the lane. And Kusei can keep doing this. He has 2 choices, right? I can proxy the wave, and then I force you completely away and let my wave crash and die to the turret, or I can shove the wave out, and then because the turtle is at the bottom side, I don't have to worry. I can keep you at bay, and then I call for Smooth to join.
And we talked about fundamentals and timings. Right now, it's pretty good. Oh, the kick onto ZK.
Oh, the isolation. ZK, very durable. Goes into the ultimate bomb, and now tries to pull Carry back. Doesn't find it. He hops off. And that allows Balance to get a good knockoff. He entry to the backline. He's going to explode to the damage. Somehow was able to make it out. Trap finds the kill on the Kusei. The Swan Song unleashed Smooth. Flickers away, knocked out by Valens, concussive blast, not enough, trying to use out a bit longer, but still Gary finds the pick off. AERO, they have ran out of damage, they can't really follow up much more. CG finds 2.
They find 2 and they back out. ZK, man, he almost had it there. He made that pullback. Kim would have been in a phenomenal position. Kim cannot afford to die. If he's trading battle spells, let it be with Ye3's ult and Petrify. He got hit by it. Luckily, he didn't get one shot just yet, but this turtle is still up for grabs. Anybody can go for it. Hazel, he's been power farming this entire time, and thanks to that kill on the bot side against Gary, he now has a lead, a clean level lead. And if he does this quick, he should be able to steal it away before Gary hits 9. But no, he's back in the fight.
Another shocker is used. Gary trying to find an angle. Smooth's gonna try and body block him. Good stuff! Another feather airstrike follow-up. Valens will not find an opening this time. AERO will get the objective, but CG turns to the macro game, right? Take the top tier 1. But Trap might need a bit of help because Kusei is zoning him away.
Yeah, talk about fundamentals. Right now, CG have 2 major issues that they have to worry about. They can only make sacrifices for one and not the other. I think they made the right choice by taking this T2, but Trap, I think he needs to swap this lane, right? He's not getting enough off of this. He's barely farming as well. Kusei, a full level lead. Unless he is getting humanitarian aid from that mid lane, I don't see this game scaling well for him.
And Valens is also struggling to find these angles too. Zkif is currently not an option, right? You might need Chico to be around if you want to go for the kick. Valens finds the kick on the Kim. Chico now just a full swan song, and that's what we talked about. Backup coming in from Gary too. AERO doesn't want to stay there. Gary hops onto Kusei, vengeance, maybe a bit too late, and Chico finds another.
Beautiful stuff coming out from Chiku's side. An amazing lane gank here, and Valens set it up incredibly. He really sold the idea that they were coming down the riverside, but Chiku was already in lane. We got to see a couple more of that because AERO, they're not going to be as creative, but CG still utilizing the fundamentals, understanding what the status quo should be. Trap finally getting his Haas Claw. That's going to keep him in lane a little bit longer. And thank God Smooth shows up here. Trap is more than happy to deal with Smooth.
That's what we talked about, the fundamental checks from CG. And still, AERO, they did lose that minor goal lead that they had, but it's still an even game. I think coming into this, we saw what CG could do against SRG OG, but against other teams, I think the general consensus is that it's not going to be close, not going to be even remotely close, and yet here we are with AERO really keeping up with the movement.
It's looking good. Hazel's second item, everybody's hitting their items on time. We got 6 seconds until the next turtle is about to spawn. Trap's got a little bit of items. He might be able to participate, but I don't think that he should. I think that he doesn't provide enough to it. He could be a potential liability if he accidentally falls into one of the globules from blue.
Now they're going to catch Valens again. Valens going to keep that kick. The Petrify was forced up on Ye3 by Kusei early on, who was hunting him down as Ye3 was trying to be a distraction. So something that AERO should note out. Kusei needs to communicate that. Without Petrify, it makes Ye3 a lot less threatening. Valens sets up the steal into another swan song. Smooth comes in with a penalty zone, but they've already lost Hazel, and Smooth cannot do much all on his own unless Kusei can find a return. Chico flickers Kusei on the chase, ties him down. Kusei on a leash. And AERO still finds one, but Ye3 with an assassination on the Kim. CG wants to fight.
Ye3 pulls it back, and now Trap finally gets a push. Kusei, he's going to show up into this lane, but he doesn't have his ult to work with, and that's his big threat against someone like Wanwan. Even so, Trap, he's getting a little more confidence. He got 3 kills off of that, and now he's in a phenomenal position. The whole laning phase down the drain.
And now the goalie skews over to CG for the first time this game. It's still nothing substantial, under 1,000. But I gotta say, Valens on point with these setups. And he has been so for the entirety of the regular season. AERO needs to put more respect on it. Trap easily purifies away. Zkif flickers on him. Trap gets stuck on, but the Swan Song setup is there with Valens. Trap still goes down though. And I think that's more than enough for AERO. Smooth is coming in, Valens to Chico. I'm not sure if we want to stay there. We Smooth around, but Smooth commits on the Chico. No flicker, no swan song, but they need a bit of follow-up. Zkif, can he keep up? Valens able to bail him out. Gary with the body block, so Chico escapes.
What? But why? But why? Was Smooth that confident he was going to kill? I mean, he did the combination the wrong way over. He probably should have set it up with the Executioner Strike before going in with the 3 swings. Definitely a kill angle for sure, but I guess Gary, he did come in at the right time. Saved him in the middle of that combo. Oh!
Whoa.
Like the final blow that does good work And it chunks him out for 50%. Hazel lost 50% of his HP for that.
Really good stuff from year 3. But I think, for AERO, it's not too bad of an approach, right? You are forcing out crucial resources from CG. DK, good body block. No setup.
Again, it's really between Balance and ZK for right now. Balance has been finding some amazing flank angles, some great angles to kick them back into the Swan Song. He might find one again. Nope, gets out.
DK is going to keep him in place. Gusei with another tie down. The current call Balance blown up. Year 3 looks for Kim. Couldn't find a full kill, but Smooth's going to get abandoned. Hazel looks for Year 3. A 1v1 breaks out in the jungle. Year 3 to navigate. Good dodge for the turtle ball. Year 3 trying to run away, but Hazel is going to cut him down. And AERO finds 2.
Now, they're turning the score into their favor. AERO, the lead in hand, 500, and a good timing on these fights. They can almost guarantee this Lord. It's a 50-50 between Gary alongside with Hazel, but Hazel is 2 levels up, an advantage for him. It's looking more 60-40. Not even gonna make the attempt. Good stuff coming in from AERO.
Very, very clean game, AERO. Now we'll assume more control of the game for the first time. With that lore, let's see how much damage they can deal, because so far no structures have gone down on CG's side just yet.
Blue team turret has
Oh,
been
not yet.
destroyed.
But AERO, they're gonna start pushing back. And they're gonna be pushing back as fast as possible, right? With their missing mid T1, they need to at least open up the map by cracking the opposing mid T1, but I don't think they're gonna make it easy here. They've got so many resources down there. Oh, at least they know where Balance is.
The full damage Benedetta too, contrary to the semi-tank Benedetta we saw last time. Year 3 played it.
Blue team turret has been destroyed.
Very good control. He wants more. Rather than 4 people, instantly backs off. Balance not confident with the setup yet. But AERO has the full team here.
Yeah, they're not even gonna go for the split push. I guess it's a little too dangerous? I don't know. Not 100% sure why they didn't send somebody into the side lane, or at least like smooth at the bare minimum, maybe even Kusei, right? But I guess they just didn't have the information until CG started to show themselves, and even Year 3 showing up into the mid lane before they could reconfirm. Even so, there's still at least 110 seconds until the Lord actually spawns, and AERO have not been really converging big swings in their favor. They got a 3.2k, but it's slowly incrementing.
I will say that I like the confidence from Kim too, right? With the flicker instead of a purify. They find Gary though, and they're just starting to hurt Gary. Can he run away? Nope. Kim. Quick snipe. ZK flicker to safety. Here comes Balance. He'll have to find a kick. Year 3 petrified to the back line. Trying to cut them all down, but Year 3 can't do it all of his own. And Smooth, counter-engage, 3-minute penalty strike. Year 3 escapes Balance, tries to do another set of the Swan Song. Good from Chico, and he flickers in for 2. The crossbow tank goes off. Trap allowed to do work. Even trade that becomes Hazel favorite. Can Year 3 come in and clean up? And the air try, Year 3!
Oh my god.
So close! But AERO finds the wipeout.
A full wipeout here. Kim, literally on 1 sliver of health. If he was a little less accurate, a little less slow, maybe Year 3 could have been the one with wipeout at the very end. Kim, even taking into precaution, hey, I'm gonna get that winner crown, I gotta deny the crossbow tank, but I also, just in case, need to not die to Year 3, because he's been gunning for Kim this entire game. All 3 big team fights, it's Year 3 looking to cancel Feathered Airstrike.
Kim has been good on it too. Again, the flicker made all the difference. And now it's 20 seconds until the next Lord spawns in the bottom lane, so AERO will set up top. They spot Balance now. He actually making his way to the mid lane too.
Now, when we look into the player from head-to-head, you can tell that a majority of these winning games from CG's side is inflated Chiku Guy's stats when it comes down to damage done. His gold per minute is looking a little more even than I would have liked to imagine. There's only 27 worth of GPM difference. In terms of kill participation, there is a little bit more, but that's true to the brand of Kim. He's very playing for his team, right? He will sacrifice anything necessary to make it happen. And now Zeke is at the point where he can actually tank these shots coming in from Gary for as long as he needs to.
Balance will be waiting in the wings immortality online, so Balance with a bit more agency to throw his body for that setup. We see how much damage Shiku can deal with the Swan Song, not to mention allowing Trap to have space to get that crossbow tank. They should spot Balance now, coming in with the conceal, the setup onto Smooth. And Smooth survived because they already lost Kusei. Year 3 with the kill. Smooth finds Trap, they need to blast him. Trap goes into the air as Year 3 stalls out Kim. A pincer maneuver that worked in favor of CG lands them 3.
Yeah, 3, he finds 2 easily. Easily 2. He's got the damage, he's got the numbers. Your Winter Crown ain't protecting you from anything, Kim. Unfortunately, that's just way too much burst coming in from Year 3's side. 3 members end up going down, but let's look at the instant replay, because this all starts with Year 3 finding the initial solo kill onto Kusei before he gets on top of Kim. And Kim, he unleashed at least 2 of those feathered airstrikes. 3, if we're being really particular. I would say 2 because 1 technically missed, but overall, it's just so hard to fight into the 5 members of CG when Chiku is that anchor.
Not only that, if he got 1 more salvo off, that was trap dead for sure. So Year 3 essentially saved that fight. And not only saved, they won it for the team. Now AERO has to deal with the Lord. Hazel gets his own Winter Crown now. Lord coming in the top lane.
Yeah, everybody needs to have a Winter Crown, especially since Wanwan is at a point where she's already scaled, level 15, and we're already in the later stages of the game. Built up like a truck, hurts so much. Trinity build, of course, naturally. Just without the golden staff. The hard part here is AERO just can't walk up, right? It's really hard to conquer space or reclaim territory from CG.
And Waveler not the best either. Only Kim can clear waves effectively compared to everyone else. That's sort of the weakness of a double fighter comp. You do struggle in base defense the later the game goes. Not to mention that there's always the threat of balance. A Year 3 with the dive, but the airstrike used very early. Balance finds another kick. Kim reposition, tries to get away from the Swan Storm, but it's double Winter Crown. They're dead. They're both gonna go into the grave, and Chico finds a double kill. Smooth a bit late with the penalty zone, but CG finds a wipeout. And game 1 done and dusted just like that.
And that's what I'm talking about. Just strong